Guys, welcome back to Mids from the middle of the Midwest. I'm your host, Nixon the Dark. Do you like my beard? I grew it just for you. Today, the enshittification of women. For those of you who don't know, enshittification is a new word for an idea that's been cropping up everywhere. It's kind of been around for a long time. It's a variation on rent seeking. It mostly refers to the corruption of tech platforms like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and pretty much every tech monopoly. It's a slow process where the incentives that made something attractive eventually corrupt it. We use Google search to illustrate. Google search was so good when it started that it destroyed all other search engines back in the 2000s. It was so good it became ubiquitous, and for the most part, it still is. This is phase one of enshittification. You build something that is so valuable that users not only love it, they become trapped into using it. This is a standard monopoly. Now, once trapped, Google naturally sought to maximize revenue that it could accrue through this massive, massive user base. They did this mainly through advertising. And we all sort of accepted this in the beginning. And in some ways, we even benefited from targeted ads. I mean, it made sense for someone to advertise a towel to you if, in fact, you searched for a towel. Eventually, this effort to maximize revenue turns into abuse. Ads proliferate. Now, when you search Google, your results are curated by AI slop. A lot of those results are rigged by search engine optimization, and there's often subtle ideological influence polluting every Google search. So this is phase two. Google now is abusing those users that had worked so hard and created so much value for in the first place. But the value is still there. Google has so much leverage that it can charge more and more for those ads that spam search results. What happens next is the profits that advertisers hope to realize by targeting those ads to you ends up going to Google. Yet the user base is so lucrative, advertisers feel pressure to continue to pay to stay on the platform. They have to keep up. Thus, Google enters phase three. It abuses its customers and claws back the value for itself. Over time, both sides will get it worse and worse so long as they keep using the platform. The user experience will continue to get worse, and the profit that advertisers hope to gain will continue to erode. Now, Google is still around, and people still use the enshittified version all day, every day. I used it several times today. That's how strong the tech monopoly is. It will take a long, long time before enough users and enough advertisers bail on Google that they're forced to de-shitify. So all tech monopolies do this. In fact, all of them are it's almost like they're supposed to do this. This is the nature of a monopoly. What does this abuse dynamic remind you of? We said college, you get extra credit, obviously. How about politics? Definitely. But you know why we're here. The answer to all your questions is hypergamy. Have women been enshittified? Well, let's check the formula. Women clearly have a sex monopoly over unattractive men. They have for millions of years. There we go. Phase one complete. When it comes to women, beta males are like subscribers, and women love having male subscribers. They used to reward subscriptions with relationships, sometimes even marriage, and God forbid, sex. Now, it's debatable how much women ever loved relationships to unattractive men, but they did benefit from them by getting security, some measure of status, children, and occasionally love. Now, this old system thrived because women lacked ready access to alpha male alternatives. After hormonal birth control, after relaxed social norms, then social media and dating apps, women acquired easy, consequence free access to alpha males in a way they never had before. Alphas, they're kind of like advertisers, they are the revenue stream that women wanted all along. Sounds a little bit like phase two. Women use the internet now to increase beta male subscribership. They demand attention, validation, contributions, and donations in exchange for watered down fertility. Instagram ass shots, soft porn, maybe hardcore porn, and of course the hollow simulation of a girlfriend experience. That's something like OnlyFans. But never sex, unless perhaps it's transactional, like prostitution, and certainly never relationships. Simultaneously, women access and reward alpha males with sex and what they believed were relationships. Unfortunately, women didn't get relationships. In fact, most didn't deserve relationships. What they got instead were situationships. This is where phase 3 begins. Abuse of alpha males. I know, God forbid. Alpha males always get sex. You guys know that. That will never change. But as women settled for situationships, something really strange happened. Female behavior turned into abuse. We've now reached the point where men who love fertility almost universally despise everything else about female behavior in the sexual marketplace. Women using, exploiting, and then ghosting men or blaming men for the problems that they are the most responsible for creating in their lives. As the behavior gets worse, the situationships get greasier and greasier. Enshittification. You're welcome. Now, does this apply to all women? Obviously, not every last woman in every single degree, but it definitely applies to women who interact with men through the internet, including smartphones. So it affects every woman to some degree. As for the bulk of their behavior, your mileage will vary, and I suspect it will be based on phone use. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and final thought. So what happens next? Men have been fleeing women at an accelerating rate, but I don't expect women to stop behaving this way, not for a long time. Probably not until we experience a complete breakdown in our social order. Much like Google, Amazon, and Facebook, women still have a lot of room to fail before male subscribers completely flee. So how did we do? Are there other aspects of enshittification that I may have missed? Feel free to add them in the comments below. Take care.